Hello, and welcome to Twenties, Aplenty, and our weekly campaign, the Headhunter Chronicles, a D&D adventure involving random people met on the internet. This week, the group venture across the desert on their way to Dragonsclaw City. If you enjoyed today's episode, please remember to like and subscribe. Either way, we'd love to know what you think, so please leave a comment below. And with that, we hope you enjoy today's session.
We travel and roll, our intentions are good. Maybe. We fight, at times polite. It's DnD.
So, when last we set off, the group were in the midst of the wind down of the Feast of the Talisman. Varric, who was trying to be known as Dustin, had just been outed as Varric left the room. Margan, the drunkard captain, shouted across the room, "Varric, where are you going?" Obviously missing his drinking buddy already. The group all decided they would go to bed. All except for Lucy, who decided he'd explore an unoccupied area of the fortress, battling through a number of seized old rickety doors up and down crumbling stairs, only to be frightened by an empty suit of armour falling down the stairs as he investigated it. With his tail between his legs, he headed back to the rest of the group and spent what was left of the evening resting until a big gong rang out throughout the building, constantly calling people to breakfast. After breakfast, the group headed down to the dig. They'd been hired to investigate noises that were coming from the dig in the ruins below the fortress. It took them a number of hours to walk down. Lucy was in familiar surroundings to begin with, at least, because a lot of them had already passed through the evening before, but then they got to a certain staircase and they headed down the staircase, whereas Lucy had headed up to discover the armour. Yombad, who was the priest that was guiding them, explained a little bit about the history of the fortress. He explained that it was built at a time of war between Dragonsclaw and Catan at the beginning of the current age, and it was actually built upon top of another ruined fortress. It was also rumoured that an ancient artefact known as Newsted's Justice, one of the artefacts of the domain the group were looking for, was somewhere below. And that was one of the main reasons for their dig. Yombad eventually brought them to a wooden door, old and rickety but thick. He then indicated that the noises were coming from behind the door, like banging from a large animal, scurrying of rats, and the scampering of large feet, like a large spider. He retreated, backtracking down their path, and let the group investigate. They opened the door, and behind the door was a passageway leading to a room. There they found a large stone door covered in runes. In front of the door was a table. On that table there was a white pearl, a pink opal, a green emerald, and a pale green lump of nephrite, all set in sockets on the table. In Draconic, the words, "the initial solution will be the way in," were carved on the table. The group tried numerous theories about the colours, the hardness of the rock, trying to put them in alphabetical order. It was actually Varric who had the initial idea about perhaps the initial in the clue was actually an indication of using the first letters of their names, but he thought it was an alphabetical order thing. Eventually, though, Amanita solved the problem flew up and rearranged the jewels such that their first letters spelled the words open, with an announcement of "Open Sesame!" From Amanita. The door rose, leading to another passage. Down that passage was another room with a similar door covered in runes. In front of that door, the floor of the room was covered in about a foot of sand. In the midst of it was a large statue of a dragonborn man holding a large orb in his left hand, and his right was up in the sky, and he was looking at the open hand that was up. On the plinth was written, "The path to justice will be unbiased." Thinking correctly that the statue itself was a set of scales, Varric jumped onto one of the arms, joined by Lucy, trying to weigh it down. But although it looked as though it would budge, it didn't quite seem to have the right force to pull it down. In the end, Amanita realised that perhaps they needed to use the sand on the ground. So the group began to fill jars of sand and put them in the hand of the statue. After a little bit of experimentation and trying to get the right amount of sand, the arm came down and balanced perfectly with the orb. The door opened, leading to another passageway. At the end of that passageway was an empty room, apart from a similar stone door with runes upon it. The runes on all these doors glowed white, and Marcus and Lucy had a conversation with Marcus, pointing out that those runes looked very similar to runes they'd seen before in an elven temple, a ruined temple they had to use to escape Metataria into the elven realms. The runes themselves, they knew they were wards of some sort, but they couldn't work out if it was to keep something in or keep something out. Around this door was an array of numbers between 1 and 9 jumbled up. In amongst the numbers was a message inscribed, "What law brings." Using devil's luck, Lucy thought of an idea and pressed the buttons in order from 1 to 9. Lo and behold, the door opened, leading into what looked like another passageway. In the passageway, there were a number of footprints, large dragonborn footprints. But they weren't simply going in and out of the room along the floor. They were going across the corridor and up the wall and across the wall and across the ceiling. Wary, Korsk lit his green flame dagger and held it up above his head to see if he could see anything. Upon raising it, the scampering of large feet head down the passageway, out of sight and into the room. They headed forward into the room itself. And a copper dragonborn head, aged with wrinkles, popped down, breath like death, and announced, "Come to visit old Vetrax, have we?" At which point, Varric fell back into Amanita, who fell back into Lucy, who fell on his backside. They found a creature who was a little bit like a centaur. His top half was dragonborn, his bottom half was a six-legged drake. He was a weapon of war that had been engineered biologically during a war against the humans. He was on a mission with the general, the leader of the armies, the Dragonborn armies, called Thelxa Razdar, a name that was familiar to Varric. As far as Varric is concerned, that's also the name of the current general. Could this general be really 700 years old? Or is something else? Is it just a coincidence? After finding the place, he mentioned that Razdar was quite angry to only find the stick. Newstead's Justice was known to be a warhammer. They'd only found the handle, not the head. He was left there to guard the handle. Razdar disappeared for a long time, but eventually came back, took the handle, said he needed it. Veltrax was asked to continue to guard this place. And there he stayed, forgotten about for many years. Until the group came. Eventually, the group decided to go and get Yombad. They headed up to the top, leaving Vetrax with some food, some crab meat that Lucy had cooked, and a couple of days' worth of rations of Varric's. And they headed out to explain to Imptak what they'd found. However, when they got to the top of the staircase, all they were met with was an irate Latz shouting at a green Dragonborn priestess. "What do you mean, Dragon's Claw? Can't go to Dragon's Claw, I'm an old man!" While the group had ventured down for the day in the depths of the fortress, the military had appeared, having spied the airship that the group had arrived on and commandeered it. The group were told that they could head to Dragon's Foot to petition for its return. In the meantime, the airship will have headed off to Axemouth to join the military operation and the war against the Crag Dwarfs. The group agreed they would have to head off towards Dragon's Claw. They needed the airship. After that, they collected their 700 gold pieces from Imtak and headed off towards the Steed Exchange, where they purchased a number of camels and a replacement wagon. Not only had the army commandeered the ship, but also anything they found useful on it, including the wagon and the crew. Everything else was dumped outside, including Korsk's alchemy kit. After that, the group headed back to the fortress, stayed the night. Amanita had a bath, having been spat on by a camel. And then they got up, had some breakfast. At that point, Vetrax appeared, had a conversation with them, told him he hoped they would meet again, fight side by side, drink the blood of their enemies together. They bade him farewell and headed off across the desert. And that's where we pick up. So, which way, I guess, are we headed across the desert? So, I would say that you've got two options. You can go as the crow flies and just go as straight as possible. You could hang across the coast, or you can follow the river.
Sorry.
Do we need to charter a boat to get to Dragon's Claw?
I would think so. So I would recommend following the river to get to Desert Mouth, and then taking a boat round from there to Dragonsclaw.
You know there is a ferry across the desert. So at this point here, it's like a little bay in the center of that circle. In that bay is a small fishing village, and at that fishing village there is a ferry across to Dragonsclaw.
I'd still think following the river for as long as possible, then try and not directly go across the desert, because I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's still desert land, but there is a bit more kind of, you'll find there's more villages and stuff along that route. And when you get to this place here, you've got a decision to make. Do you cut the corner or not? Do you head straight across to try and then join up with the rest? Do you just cut across the desert to get to the next bit of river, or do you follow the U down towards Sands Fork or not?
I think we should cut across, but that's my personal take on that.
Same here. Got to get the airship back and mete out some punishment for the damages to my equipment.
Okay. And how quickly are you going to try and travel? Are you going to push the camels hard, or are you going to take a nice gentle pace, or somewhere in the middle?
I would like to between a normal pace and too fast, just a middle ground between then. Almost like a quick speed walking, almost. You know what I mean?
Fifth gear camel.
Okay.
Lucy will not be sleeping until we get there, so you have a driver.
Okay.
I can drive as well. If Lucy wants to take night shift, I can do day shift.
Lucy, this whole trip, Lucy is going to be quietly seething.
And I'm assuming, given Varric knows the land, that you will be the navigator.
Yeah, as much as possible.
As much as possible. Excellent. Excellent. And how much water do you have?
I don't think we stocked up on any before we left.
We'll be fine.
Oh, no, we can create water, can't we? We can create food and water. That was...
Create water, not necessarily food, though.
What was it, 20 gallons I can make? As long as we have some.
How many gallons?
Some.
I think it was 20, or was it 50? I'll double check.
Was it 20 a day with the flask?
Yeah, it's either 20 or 50 gallons, one of them.
Yeah. I was going to say another option would be we dig for water and then Course can put purified water on it.
Mm.
So you each need, I mean, you are next to a river as well, by the way, for a lot of it. But just in case you get pulled away from the river, you each need, when it's hot, you each need 2 gallons per day.
Sorted then, no worries. With Lucy's little tankard of infinity, it was sorted anyway, but just in case.
Okay. And has anybody got... So what armour are people wearing?
None.
Breastplate.
So is that medium or...
Medium.
That's medium, okay.
Yes, Lucy's still on light.
Light, okay.
I should mention as well, Course probably doesn't think this through and is still wearing his alchemy coat through the first part of the crossing.
Okay.
Aminator's not wearing any armour.
Okay, and Marcus, I think, is medium, isn't he?
I think so. I think he carries a shield as well. No, he doesn't carry a shield as well.
So Marcus is medium, and
Korska's medium. Korska and Marcus medium.
Yeah.
Lucy's light and Varric and Emily have none. What about Cleo? Does he wear any?
Wear armor. Doesn't wear armor. So, this is just also if we need to roll for exhaustion or something, I know what I'm rolling. Or I know what to get you to roll. So, you're heading a reasonably quick pace. Right, it's slow going across the desert anyway because of the heat. You have to rest more often than you would do normally. So, if you were on land normally, it's probably, to get to Desert Mouth, it's probably a couple of days. But it's probably more like 4 going the route you said you were going to go. And then probably another 2 to get, if you went to that bay. If you were sailing, you'd probably be able to sail around there in a day to that point, and then across the channels probably a day and a half, I think. So you would probably sail round and then camp and then do the half day.
Is there time for a quick bit of roleplay on the way?
There is. You might get a opportunity anyway.
Okay, I'll hold it.
So you set off, and initially, you can tell that there is a well-trodden road that follows the path that you want to go. So, initial navigation isn't a problem. First day, no wind, scorching weather. Korsk and Marcus are becoming quite uncomfortable by their armor. I get an impression Marcus will probably grin and bear it.
Korsk has just taken off his coat and is now trying to use it as a small tent above his head.
The wagon does have a cover, so...
Yeah, the wagon does have a cover, but I would imagine it's quite stuffy inside as well.
Slightly.
Anita's like, oh, it's so hot. I thought Dragon Place was hot. It's more hotter here.
That bath you had the night before is a dim and distant memory.
Could do with a nice cold bath right now.
She's just quietly at the reins, not blinking.
As you get onto the bank of the river and follow the path into the desert proper, you hear the buzz of flies, the stench from the river itself. It's not really. It gets to a point where it's initially near the fountains, it's flowing, but as you start to move away, it just becomes like stagnant brown sludge. You can smell like rotting. There's some kind of form of dried grass growing out of it in places around some of the banks. Other than that, it's like tumbleweeds and cactuses to your other side. As you get towards the end of the first day, wind begins to pick up. You decide you will set up camp. It's time to set up camp. Do you want to set up camp close to the road, a bit further off? Try and get to the other side of the river and camp there. What would you like to do?
I'd recommend just a touch off the road stay where we are and just come off the road a bit.
Okay. Okay. So you set up a camp. Are you going to eat? So, the day before you'd stuffed a load of food into your bags and stuff from the breakfast. So I'm assuming you're going to tackle some of that stuff first.
The cheeses and sausages, absolutely.
And in terms of sleeping arrangements, what are you doing? Are you
Lucy will be keeping watch.
okay?
Korska's going to stay up a bit and try to catch hold of Varric at some point.
Eric's not going to try and go to sleep just yet. He's going to wait until a little bit later in the night and then go to bed.
I've just found out the mug is 20 gallons per day.
Have you got any fire or anything like that going?
Lucy just holds his hand open, ready.
No,
Like
in the. Have you got a fire? Have you got a campfire?
So, fire is not an option when Lucy's in the party. It's a necessity.
It's a mandatory requirement. It's always there.
Yeah, so while everyone's kind of just ended dinner, Korska's going to walk over to Varric and sit down and just ask, so what exactly was your issue with the castle we were staying at? I noticed you went back to the ship. What's wrong? Are you one of those people who can't stand luxury?
Not luxury. It's a very long and bit of a complicated story. But I did say I'd tell you guys when we got a minute, so I suppose now is better than ever. As you know, I'm an old soldier. I did a lot of... Well, I like to think I did good in my time, but towards the end of my service, there was a bit of a situation. Unfortunately, it ended up costing a lot of my friends their lives. And I was blamed for that, but that's a different story. I left the army, I was discharged by and stuff, so just couldn't handle it. But leaving the army here is seen as quite bad. It's, you take pride in what you do, and the people here, war has been their way of life for so long that they don't know anything else, really, and when you fall out of that line, nobody wants to associate with you.
You don't regret it, though?
I couldn't have changed anything. I regret what happened. I regret not doing something different. I followed my orders, and I did what I was told. And I was made a fool of. And because of that, all my friends ended up dead. That's why I'm not liked in these parts. I'm not liked anywhere here. But it's my home. As much as they don't like me, and sometimes I don't like them. I mean, look at Vertex, for example. This country's army and their generals and stuff don't care about the people. They care about war. It's all they know. Vertex was left to die in that cave where we found him. If we hadn't found him, nobody would have. And, he was just doing his job, just like I was. And we were both abandoned by our people. Or, not our people, yeah, you know what I mean.
Sounds like there isn't as much of a connection between the military and the people. don't understand how that could be so. You draw people from their ranks in order to make them just soldiers. How can they be so distinct and different?
They're not. They are one and the same. It's out of people, the townspeople of Dragonsfield, where we just left. Like, they don't know what it's like on the front lines, but they'll support the war. They'll support our boys and girls doing their jobs to make sure they stay safe. It's pride in the work that they do and the honor and glory of that job. You know, it's, if you're part of the military, you're someone here. You know, even if you come from some small family or you grew up on the streets and stuff, you can be someone in the army and someone will give you the respect that you deserve. It's, people will always respect that, but
like a family, you might say.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. When you're brought into the army, especially at younger ages, like I was, you're brought up with your group essentially. It's a group of about 15 odd people or so, and you kind of grow up together, train together, and do your bits and pieces together. You're sent out on missions together, and yeah, you're meant to feel as part of a family, included within it, so you're not ever on your own. You know what I mean? But they'll happily send people to their deaths and isolate them, and hey.
Well, how did you deal with taking the fall for it, whatever it was that happened? So you say they're your family, but they betrayed you.
My family didn't betray me. My family died in that canyon. Or my brothers and sisters and ours. We all died. Well, yeah, we all died. Every one of us died in that canyon, and I came back someone else. Someone who's not going to stand there and listen to the lies that my army's going to tell me.
That's why you've been so furtive. You don't want your name recognized.
Yeah. Because people don't know. My family was not well known, but my mother was, I'm not sure what she's doing these days, but she was a commander of the army at the time I was there. And people shunned her for me because of the apparent mistake I made. Well, I didn't do anything wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You sit, thoughtful for a while, by the fire. As you do, you notice the wind pick up a little bit, flames start fluttering in the fire. In contrast to the day when the sun was up, the wind was quite cool. You begin to feel cold, icy. Quite surprised by the range in temperature. It's a dry cold. The wind is persistent, blustery.
Amanita will get up and go over to Lucy. Like,
It's so cold. Can I snuggle with you?
Lucy doesn't say anything, just shrugs and says fine, while he continually whittles a piece of wood into a very, very sharp point.
Lucy, I also want to apologize that my country has confiscated our airship. I understand you went through a lot of trials and tribulations to try and get that thing all set up, and unfortunately, it was just confiscated off of you. Sorry about that.
You don't have to apologize.
I feel like I do, though. It's my people, after all. And yeah. They shouldn't have done it. It's not theirs. We're not citizens of theirs, so...
Also, you may have noticed as soon as you mentioned the ship being taken, the fire that we had may have slightly grown.
Sparks fly off into the sky. Just kind of embers as the fire rises, caught on the wind.
I'll say as well, we started with a piece of wood about this size, and during this conversation it's now about this, but still very, very sharp.
At least you know where to go when you need your pencil sharpened.
Yeah. Once he gets close enough to his hand, he puts it down and just grabs another piece of wood from the back and starts again.
And the wood shavings just keeps growing and growing.
Good fire starters. Good fire starters.
When Varric says that, Lucy gets an idea. Sorry.
Go on, go on.
No, that's it. He just gets an idea.
Amanisa's gonna go into mushroom form and climb up onto Lucy's shoulder and whisper into his ear.
Gonna go get your ship. We can do it.
With that, she gives out a big yawn, kisses him on the cheek and falls asleep on his shoulder.
And assume that's a sign for Cleo and Marcus to turn in for the evening.
Borsk, I'll take first watch if you want to get some rest first, or you can take first watch with Lucy and I'll get up later on.
Yeah. You take first watch. I need to think a bit about what you said.
No worries.
Thanks for opening up about it, by the way.
Alright. Long history now. Or long gone history now. It's been a long time since I've had to think about it, but
It can leave long scars, though. It's not always easy. And he gets up and walks to the tent. Turns in.
Okay. Put those on guard. Do a perception check, please.
Mm-hmm. Just need to relaunch my
Oh, you got a natural 20.
did I?
Yeah. So, Lucy, you hear there is traffic on the road during the evening. You get the impression that some of the people locally decide to travel in the evening to make better, quicker progress. Varric, you hear this too. After a while, you get the sense. You hear noises around you. And you get the sense that you're being watched.
Is it still windy out?
Yep.
Can I just, while the fire's still going and stuff like that, I kind of put my staff in the ground and I untie the bottom tie of it and the flag that I have wrapped around the top of my staff, kind of flutters about a bit. I sit back down and just beside it.
The hours passed. The hours pass. It's time for your shift to end and Korsk's to begin. I'm assuming Lucy's still going to be keeping watch as well.
I'll let Korsk know that I feel like there's people watching the group at the minute.
I'll see if I can send Pyrite out. Maybe he'll see something we don't.
Just be careful, I don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves.
When am I not careful? Come on.
And with that, Lucy will start on his next piece of wood.
You must have made 5 of those by now, Lucy. What exactly are you making?
Pointy things.
Well, everyone must have a hobby. And he'll sit near Lucy and just try and keep an eye out in the opposite direction, and whisper to Pyrite to kind of do a, like a circle a little way out from the camp.
Could you do a perception check, please?
Korsk or Pyrite?
Pyrite. Yeah, there's something wrong with Pyrite today. I don't know if it's temperature or he's got sand in his gears, but he just seems to stutter around. Comes back, his lens is full of gunk and stuff. I think the wind is probably just whipping up a bit of the dust and getting in. Could you? So so he doesn't spot anything of Nord. Could you and Lucy do another perception check, please? Wow.
Korsk is just very pensive at the moment. He's just staring into space.
Lucy, you hear several You hear several sets of footsteps heading away from the camp, back towards the road.
We see them?
No, they've disappeared into the darkness.
I'll tell Korsk someone was near us. They've gone now.
Near us doing what?
No idea. But I heard them walk away.
Should we get anyone or pursue, or what are we doing?
I could release some frustrations. And Lucy starts walking towards wherever he heard the sound.
Korsk will step up and go with him.
Okay. Could you both do another perception check, please? Or investigation check, actually. Let's make investigation.
Okay.
Okay. Given the wind is blowing, by the time you get there, Lucy, you can see where the footprints were, but you can't make out the footprints themselves. Sam, I'm going to send you something.
Yeah, I'll say while I read this that Course is just intently studying the ground. Well, I can't be sure as to their identity, but they definitely scarper away quickly enough.
Must be their lucky day.
Indeed. Might want to ask a few questions of Varric, whether we usually get bandit parties out on the desert roads.
One can hope.
Not sure I would agree, unfortunately, but... Anyway, I don't think we're going to learn any more out here. Let's head back as soon as possible.
Okay. Lucy will head back and continue his whittling.
Lucy's out for blood.
Don't worry, Lucy, we will get the airship back.
What are you using for your whittling, by the way?
Just a dagger.
One of your +1 daggers or a standard dagger?
Just standard dagger. Got a couple of spare.
Okay. By the end of the evening, it is blunt.
Okay.
It couldn't chop a streak of bacon by the end.
Cool. Don't know if this was before Sam or joined us or not, but remember when we alleviated some items from the pawn shop or the loan shark?
Yeah.
Lucy gave off a certain vibe when we questioned somebody. You're feeling aspects of that.
Okay. Interesting. Is this somebody who then got the sack?
I do remember that, actually.
I think the heist was just before you, Sam, and then I think we
Right.
got the head in the sack just as you joined.
Yeah.
Lucy had a moment during the interrogation that was a little different.
So the rest of the evening passes with very little activity. You continue to hear traffic on the road in both directions. I assume you have some breakfast the next day and set off. You're around where the fork is, just to the west of Dragon's Foot. That's how far you've got.
I assume we, in the morning after breakfast, of course, would bring up what he said to Lucy last night and ask if, like, it's usual to get banditry out on the desert road.
Is it usual, Wayne?
Yeah, question for Wayne. Sorry.
Depends on how desperate times get. You're not entirely in tune with latest economic situation of the cities. But normally, if things aren't going too well, you might get a few bandits. But most people take their aggression out in the army.
Hard to be a bandit in the desert. Not a lot of resources going, and those who do barely have enough to get them across from point A to B, so...
There are supposed to be hidden wells in deserts, however. If a group was able to establish themselves using those wells, they might be able to travel a long way across the desert.
I mean, I guess.
And not all folk are in the... I don't imagine all folk in the Dragonsclaw Republic are of the city-faring or military nature. I was just curious as to whether there have been such occurrences in the past, seeing as we seem to get night visitors.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I can say that when I was in the army, I was never deployed internally. It was frontline or otherwise.
In any case, we should probably be more careful about venturing away from camp again.
Yeah.
I'll avoid suggesting that to Lucy again.
So, you tidy up after breakfast. Start heading west along the river. Reach a patch where the river is not so stagnant, and you see a gentle flow on the water. You see some of the dead grass lying on top and just kind of gradually floating west towards the... When you get to that fork, the current seems to do some strange things. You almost, at times, get a reverse current. As though the river that joins at Sands Fork is a lot stronger. It actually pushes some of the water back towards Dragon's Foot in that main river. So much so that that's what's probably it's like it reaches an equilibrium point, and that's where you get the stagnation partway along. It's a very strange phenomenon.
I mean, Corso's been fairly calm for most of the trip, but now he's what's the word? He's constantly kind of flitting his gaze around him, and skittish, yeah, and constantly checking out like disturbances by the side of the trail as we travel. He's kind of keeping an extra watchful eye out. It's sorry.
No, go on.
It's certainly more than you've seen him do in the past when there are certain threats about.
Is the weather still quite hot?
Yes, so the wind, there's a light breeze in the morning, but it's turned hot. It's a warm breeze, it's a scorching breeze. Now and again it picks up some of the dust from the sand, and for somebody who's quite close to the ground, it can cause Amanita a bit of a problem in terms of being able to breathe at times, and also it gets in her eyes every so often.
Sure, if when it does get in her eyes, she's like, oh, no.
Gotta be careful. That sand's it's pretty fine around the center of the desert, and it'll get into you everywhere.
Don't taste very nice either.
I don't think it does. No.
Just as that, it's like coughing off a bit of sand.
I could imagine it gets into your scales.
It's I mean, I deal with it pretty fine. I know a lot of other people tend to struggle with it a bit, but I don't mind. I'm hardened by my time on the war, so it's fine.
Interesting.
Speaking of such, Sam, not Sam, Korsk, even. Oof. Are you feeling alright? You sound a bit skittish there.
Scales are getting baked in the heat.
Yeah. Try hiding in the wagon for a bit. It'll protect you from most of it.
No, that won't be necessary. I need to make sure there aren't any more traces of our visitors last night.
So you can continue on for another half a day, and just after you stop for lunch, you notice that the river's doing this flowing in the wrong direction thing again. Could you all roll a perception check, please?
Do I get to roll with Pyrite as well?
Yeah, if he's around. So Lucy, as you and Korsk as well. Oh, it's Pyrite. As you make your way along this bank of the river, something catches your eye. And Pyrite zips off towards it and starts circling to try and tries to attract the attention of Korsk.
So just say, what's he found?
You find what looks like a wicker basket lying upside down, floating in the river.
Lucy will jump in and try and get it.
Korsk will hop down and wait patiently on the shoreline for Lucy to retrieve it.
I will also mention Lucy was driving the wagon.
As soon as Lucy jumps off, I'm on the reins. That's it.
Okay. So you head in. When you jump in, you notice your feet hit the bottom. It feels quite sludgy.
As I go, I'll take a look under the water just to see if it looks normal.
You find that there is... I don't know, you find quite a few things that seem to be stuck in the mud, including one or two dead animals.
Hold on, Lucy. It looks like you might be in a lot of trouble there if you proceed much further. And Korsk will throw some of his rope for Lucy to tie around his chest.
Which Lucy will grab and do.
And he'll also prudently take the strength part of enhanceability.
Okay.
He's smaller than Lucy.
Seemed well, actually, let's see. Sorry, I've gotten into the habit of this now. Yep, Lucy will just keep walking.
Lucy, tie us on.
Yeah, I tied it on, but I hear keep walking.
Okay.
You find your feet sink with each step, sink deeper and deeper into the sludge. As you reach the basket, whilst the depth of the water is only about 4 feet, you find you're up to here because your feet are so deep.
You don't notice Lucy panicking at this. He just looks at the basket and
You flip the basket over. He's empty.
anything under the water around where the basket was?
No.
Nothing around that we can see as if that might have came from the basket.
Do a perception check with disadvantage, please.
Disadvantage.
You like that in the water?
Well, you know, I can also dip my head under and just look. If that's any use. Disadvantage. Why'd that not work? 6.
No, as you're wriggling around, some of the silt on the bottom of the water is just turning it murky. So even as you go underneath to have a look, you can't see anything.
Lucy's feeling a bit not frustrated, not rebellious. He wants to act out a bit. He's just going to look on the floor of the river, like get right in there and just have a dig about and see if there's anything.
Lucy's legs and hands get stuck in the mud.
You lean
Cool.
down, and as soon as you put pressure on one of your hands, it just falls up to the shoulder in the mud. You're now lying across the mud, feet stuck in, up to your hips, and one leg in the thing.
Do I see anything?
Below 4 feet of water.
I should point out, of course, it doesn't necessarily know anything's wrong at this point.
Yeah, Lucy's not tugging on the rope or anything. He's just looking around.
Give me a minute.
Accepting your fate. This is it. Lucy's.
Okay. Let me have a look. What's your constitution?
My constitution is 14. I will add, if this is regarding how long I can hold my breath, I can breathe in water.
Ah, okay.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're stuck underwater. After about a minute, and he doesn't appear. 2 minutes, and he still doesn't appear.
Varric?
Yeah, where's Lucy gone? I haven't seen him. I'm still waiting by these camels.
He might have decided to take a dip. I'm going to need some hand hauling it. Another pair of hands to haul him out.
By this point, you notice that alongside the basket is now a bunch of apples, a wicker doll, a chair. And then you just see this whole kind of stream of debris flowing up the river.
Coming from Sandsfork direction.
Yeah.
So, just for Sam's context, is that stuff that Lucy is digging up on the bottom and it's floating to the surface, or is it just flowing down the river?
It's floated down into sight from down the river.
Okay.
That doesn't look good to me. Where did you say Lucy was, Korsk?
Look where the rope is.
Don't tell me he's tied to the end of that.
Well, better than he walks in and we just don't get it back again.
Alright.
Just help me pull. He's probably gotten stuck. And it's too
Marcus.
to tug.
Okay.
ask Marcus to give Orsk a hand.
Okay, Marcus will walk over.
Do a strength check with advantage, please.
Okay.
Athletics check. So.
Oh, damn it. Okay, that's +3 then, so 12. Oh, not +3, sorry. +1. +1, so it's 10.
Okay. And what was your intelligence roll for?
Oh, that was to see if Lucy was going to fight against them, pulling him out.
Okay.
He does not in this case.
You begin to feel pulling on your waist. Your legs begin to move slightly out of the mud. Are you going to assist the force or do nothing?
Well, if I don't see anything, alright, I might as well get out then.
So could you do a strength check as well, please? Athletics check.
Athletics.
8.
8.
If there was a bit of rules lawyer Sam coming up here.
Okay.
If there was because I had the strength potion as well as Marcus's help, there was a double advantage. Could that possibly extend to Lucy's role as well, since we're helping him?
No, because this is more about him trying to relate other bits of his body. So you're pulling at his waist. He's got his arms stuck in as well by now.
Okay.
So it's whether or not he pulls on his arms. Otherwise, you're going to dislocate his shoulders.
Okay.
Well, just one of the shoulders.
Wow. No, by this point, you've got both in.
Oh, okay. But I'm hopefully still holding on to the basket.
It's like around your neck or something like
yeah,
that.
I'm wearing it like a handbag. It's just hooked around my arm.
I just got a mental image now. Has anyone seen Ice Cold in Alex when this exact situation happens? Oh, please do. It's great film. But I think they have to wash the poor guy in oil afterwards to get rid of all the mud.
So I can imagine Lucy's got the basket in his teeth.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Just realised something.
So you're pulling, he's moving. Lucy's quickly trying to wriggle free as you're pulling away. You pull him up to the surface and you see is this basket hanging out of his mouth. It kind of, as soon as he comes up, it flips down because it's full of water. And he ends up with part of the basket left in his mouth and it just kind of bobbing up and down on the surface. At this point, Lucy is in quite a bit of pain because you've jarred his shoulder, but he will survive.
In that case,
Lucy, we'll have you out.
Lucy got something to bite down on.
Yep.
He's clearly stuck. Come on, we've got to pull harder.
dislocates his legs.
At this point, he's out. You're just pulling him across the surface now.
As them lot are doing that, Amnesia pops her head out, not having a clue about anything that's had happened. She'll poke her head out. She'll be like,
Oh, what are you guys doing?
Lucy went for an ill-advised dip. And then, with one last heave, Korska Marcus, pull one last yank, and poor Lucy goes sprawling across the shallows.
with you saying that, Amnesia's like,
Good. Very hot. Deep.
be very nice. And she'll start walking towards the water.
Lisa, wait! It's slippery! No, slippery. Sticky!
I do have one question.
Yeah.
While they were pulling Lucy from the river, Was that through the debris, or is the debris not arrived yet?
Through the debris.
Great.
Hair through his face, apples in the eye.
Still holding on to the basket now.
The handle of the
The
basket.
handle of the basket. The rest of the basket's.
Oh god. Or Lucy's probably swallowing the dirty river water as well.
Well, as you pulled him out up onto the bank, up onto the sandy bank, he's like covered in all this sludge, with a dusting of sand around him. So, it's like the death version of being tarred and feathered.
Is the cloak okay?
Sorry?
Is the cloak okay?
It's a bit wet, it's a bit tatty, but it has survived. You absolutely stink of like stagnant water. You smell like a sewer, basically. So Amanita's decided to go for a dip.
She after like she was walking towards it, and as you guys said that, she'll just turn around and go, "Fine." And with that, instead, she's going to craft Druidcraft and create a little little cloud of her own with a gust of wind. She's like, "Oh, that's."
She's going to inhale a few times and just go around to the other side of the wagon with the mug of retention and have himself a little cold shower.
And how many gallons are you going to use for that?
20!
Alright.
No, he'll use about 10.
Okay.
Like, he'll wash until he doesn't stink of a sewer. So however many gallons the DM wishes for that to be.
I would say 10's a fair number.
Okay.
So I would also say that there are 7 of you, aren't there? So you need 14 a day.
I've also got a couple of water skins filled with water.
Okay.
I don't know how much is in them, but they're there.
What
We have whiskey.
Amalita actually has a spell, a water spell as well.
how much do we actually need again?
14 a day.
14 a day.
So we need 2 per person, so there's 7 of us, so 14.
You've got
Oh, right.
10.
Right.
You got 10 from the mug, and you probably got what?
Whatever's in the 2 water skins.
And then however much Amanita can create as well.
Yeah.
I'd say the water skins are probably a gallon each.
So we're short 2 if Amanita can make that.
Well, I guess the cloud could start raining.
Yep, I do have a thunder spell as well.
So, it's probably mid-afternoon now. You've noticed this debris flowing down the river.
Well, it's not exactly on our way, but this doesn't look like stuff that belongs in a river, if you know what I mean. So do we want to go check where it's coming from, or do we want to keep on the path? You're muted, Charlie.
Well, were we going to follow the river or take the shortcut? If we're following the river, we might as well go to the town.
You get the feeling that given the amount in which the stuff is bunched up, you don't feel it's actually travelled that far. Yet.
Let's follow it till we find what's causing it, at least, and then we'll take the shortcut and go across towards Desert Man. If everyone's alright with that, I just want to make sure whoever's there's eye.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
The cool water has mellowed out Lucy a little bit.
You feeling better, bud?
Yeah, let's go see if there's Maybe we can find something.
So you will continue heading down. As you continue, you start getting more and more things in the river. Eventually, the things become a little bit bigger, a bit more bulkier. A table, some barrels, empty barrels, and face down, body of an adult, silver dragonborn male, floating. Ahead of you at that point, you see a small hamlet.
Should we maybe
just off
help
the
him
bank
out?
of the river. Sorry?
Should we maybe help him out, or is he dead?
He's definitely dead.
Should we check in, just in case? It might give us a clue as to whether we're going to a battle, or just a natural disaster, or death.
Let's pull him out the stream. I don't think if anyone's downstream, they want to be drinking someone's dead body.
Okay. So I'm assuming from he's near the back, so you managed to pull him out the river. Could you do an investigation check, please?
Who was it to roll it? Sorry, what was it?
Let's go with Varix.
So Varric, your military training tells you that he has been stabbed to death. Through the mid-rift, he's probably bled to death, and then over time and eventually been dumped into the river. It's quite a nasty injury. It looks as though it's quite a small blade that's got him there. Quite deep though.
He's definitely dead. Unfortunately, he's been stabbed in his gut. Can't say much more than that.
In answer to Charlie's question, no. He seems to be in his bedclothes.
You said it was a small blade, though.
Yeah.
Like a short sword, but a little bit smaller, maybe. Not quite a dagger.
Who are the Dragonborn at war with again?
We're at war with the Crag Dwarves.
I'll be very surprised if they manage to get this far into Dragonsclaw without being detected by the armed forces.
Yeah, there won't be any here.
I'll just ask it. Huh?
It's not possible. It's one thing we're good at. It's keeping them off of this island, at least, or this peninsula.
Yeah. Do a history check with advantage, please. Varric, come in.
Yeah, can do. With advantage.
Yeah. Cool. You will know that bladed weapons like daggers, like small bladed weapons like daggers or swords, tend not to be what the Crag Dwarves use. You know, they tend to use the more stereotypical dwarf weapons such as warhammers or axes. So it would be very odd if this weapon was of crag dwarf origin.
I relay that information to the group. There's no point in me saying it again. I'll let everyone know that that's the case.
And very small for a dragonborn to use as well. Korsk looks up. Do we see anything about the village?
So you were still like a couple of 100 meters away from the village, the hamlet at this point. It's probably, 10, 15 small houses. You can see smoke rising from the middle of it. You get an impression, looking down the river, that where the junk has come from, it seems to have come from there, because there is no... the stream of it seems to stop beyond that.
Well, what's the game plan? Are we gonna mosey on out of here and pretend we didn't see anything, or are we gonna carry on and maybe help them out?
We have to check this out. There's several questions I want answered here.
We might as well see if anything's been left behind. You know, they're not going to use it.
Checking it out it is. And I'll guide the cart that way, or the wagon that way.
Do Dragonborns need burials or anything, or... I don't know what you guys do.
I don't know him. He looked like he was probably sleeping or something. Somebody else will find him. It's fine.
Yeah, I can do a king's burial, but if it's not important, we can just leave him.
King's burial?
Yeah, I just burn him.
Let's go for that. But better that than some animal getting him with more apart, I suppose.
And with that, create bonfire.
The body begins to burn.
Probably should have checked him for anything that we could tell he was, but...
I asked that question. Apparently there was nothing on him.
He was in his bedclothes and had nothing in him. So we've been walking in the night and set upon.
Well, could have been worse. Could have been set upon in the toilet.
Let's hope that wasn't the case.
Exactly. No. I say there's worse ways to go.
Bet he would have shit himself if that had happened. Sorry, had to go there. It was like the through ball for the tap in. How could you not? So I assume you head towards the village, towards the hamlet.
Yeah.
So as you enter, you notice the huts are like mud huts. The houses are like mud huts. They've been built kind of. They've obviously used some of the water from the river to create mud from the sand, and then built it up out of that, like baked the bricks and what have you. There's like reeds for the roofs. It's like thatched. Varric, you notice a few things. You notice something about this village. One, it wasn't there when you left. And then the other thing you'd notice is that there are everybody notices there are a number of dead bodies lying around. Varric will notice that some of them are in military uniform, old, battered. You get the impression that, these are others that have been banished. dismissed from the army, shunned in the places where they came from. They found themselves, and them and their families have fled the city, found other people in similar situations, and formed a little community. Unfortunately, that community has been slaughtered in the night.
Private message for you, Wayne.
All around you see debris as though the place has been ransacked. Some of the buildings have been burnt. You can see smoke rising from what was left of their roofs. The reeds kind of burnt quite vigorously in the heat of the desert.
Well, that's unfortunate for these guys. Do I recognize any of the wounds on them or anything? Or can I go check the wounds and compare them to anything that might have been from the dragon's claw army or anything?
Could you all do investigation checks, please?
Advantage because enhance ability.
Yes.
Glad I did that.
Okay, there's a bit of an ordering thing into. So I've got to just do a bit of.
Who's playing Marcus today?
I've just been rolling his things because we've not really needed too much, but
Oh, that's fine. I was just checking because I was just like, oh, I'm not doing it, so yes, definitely.
So, like, you see Corsk take a quick swig of a potion from his flask, and immediately you see almost like it's like his eyes have expanded slightly, and almost seems to sniff around like a watchdog on the hunt. And he's browsing the marks in the sand very intently.
Okay, so could Lucy do a nature check, please?
well, that's never goes well. But okay.
Oh, jinxed it.
He never does well with nature. Nature, history, religion. He just doesn't do well with them. He walks into poison ivy.
In the desert.
Yeah.
How'd that get here?
Oh no.
Bites a cactus, just casually.
Goes up to it thinking it's a person and just gives it a big hug. Oh no, don't laugh like that way, no.
Sorry, I'm just messing with people in the background.
Aww.
I will testify to this.
You see a number of tracks. They are Lucy, you notice them. You cannot tell what they're from. They've been blown in the wind. You just know that they are relatively small, smaller than a dragonborn's. So some form of small humanoid creatures, or smaller than dragonborns at least.
They were killed by children.
The same weapons were used small blades. You see splinters of wood from shields as well. Other than that, there is no evidence that you see.
Tarek, is this region known for its violent children?
Not that I can recall. Hope not.
Lucy, the Children's Crusade was humanoids and it ended centuries ago.
You sure?
Yes, I'm absolutely sure.
Does Lucy notice any bodies of children around the village?
There are pretty much, you gather that pretty much everybody that lived in the village is dead. There is a trail of tracks heading south eastward into the desert. The childlike tracks.
Do they look similar to the tracks from that you saw, Korsk? Or like I found these that look like children's tracks. They're small.
Regrettably, I'd have to agree with you, Lucy. This was done by the same people, I suspect. No, not by children.
Oh, okay.
It would seem odd that they didn't set upon us, though.
Well, obviously they knew better.
Smaller in number. There seems to be quite a few of these people.
Tieflings are rare. Tieflings are rare to this region, and I imagine they didn't want to tangle with anything they weren't comfortable with, knowing about beforehand.
Maybe they saw my pointy sticks.
Yeah, your attitude will certainly help with that, Lucy.
Yeah.
Well, that's today's title sorted.
Amanita's gonna put her foot in, like, onto the footprint to measure her feet against their footprints.
They're a bit bigger. They're not that much smaller than a human, to be honest. Just Dragonborn have quite big feet.
But it wasn't Pepe.
It wasn't Pepe, no.
He turns out to be the big bad at the end of this campaign.
Yeah.
I'm so upset.
Comes a recurring villain.
It's it's not really the right habitat for mushrooms either.
Yeah.
So
As she puts her foot down, she'll just be like,
Well, they're not that small.
Really sorry to ruin the moment, but I'm just imagining Pepe in cactus form now.
oh my god.
this mushroom. Cactus berry. Let's call it. I wouldn't have called him Pepe. I would have called him Spike.
Do you think we should follow these tracks? 'Cause, I mean, they were checking us out last night. Then, if it's the same people,
Course takes a closer look at the armor and weaponry of the guards. Are they? It's like they're retired military, obviously, but they're not. From what Varric was saying, but are they decent quality equipment, or are they just whatever they could get their hands on?
Whatever they could get their hands on. It's quite bashed. Swords are. I mean, some of the swords are like starting to rust. Some of the shields similar, but I mean they're usable. But it's usually the kind of like long swords and steel shields, breastplates. But the breastplates are quite worn and bashed. Some of them are even dented.
Lucy, I've had dealings with some of the bandits on the roads when I do not travel to Catan for the first time. Believe me when I tell you, you do not want to run into an encounter with these people. They'll never face you head on. They'll hit you in the back when you're most unprepared. You won't get time to cast spells.
but they so regret the first one.
Yes, and the rest of us would as well. I have to say, Varric, I'm absolutely against this approach. We can't follow these people.
But let's not be too hasty, because, you know, if they are bandits, like you say, bandits tend to have maybe a store of goodies that they have relieved from other people?
I never said they were bandits. I said they simply were bandit-like, but that's beside the point.
Well, they do seem to be collecting. I'm assuming they'll have something of value if they beat even the fire soldiers.
I don't agree on those grounds, Lucy. They only had enough resources to set up this village. They probably only had food or the most simplest of trinkets, nothing worth our attention.
But they were still trained soldiers and they managed to get defeated.
Even more reason to stay away from these people.
I'm sorry, of course, but unfortunately I still feel as though I've got a bit of a duty to perform to my people, at least. And,
Exactly, he has a duty. See?
I'm not going because I want the loot. I'm going because I'm concerned that more innocent people who have been shunned or exiled, like myself, will be hurt, and I can't stand by that. I hated it when my comrades fell. I hate for someone else to feel the same when theirs fall too.
Well,
what are you going to do? Go in weapons drawn and slaughter them like they slaughtered your people?
That could be fun.
That's not it. I'm just saying we go have a look at least. No fighting, no planning to fight. We just see who they are, what we're dealing with, and if it's too much, we'll walk away. If it's something small, we can deal with it, and people won't know, but at least we'll be heroes to someone around. I'm not saying we planned for a fight. I'm just saying we have a look.
Promise me one thing, Varric.
Yep.
Promise me you'll try to use words before you try to use weapons.
I'll do my best, Korsk. I can give you my promise that I'll do my best to make sure that we don't go straight into a fight, and I'll use my words where possible.
Thank you.
That goes for you, Lucy. No fighting until I say so, please.
He only made you promise.
No, I'm not taking the group there.
Fine.
Thank you.
Lucy,
I'll behave.
I don't mean to sound like your carer, but I've been pretty lenient so far. If you try to take things into your own hands here, I will have to stop you. Is that
You
clear?
have a favour.
Point taken. That's actually very useful, by the way. Thanks for reminding me.
No worries. So I guess should we follow these tracks then and see what we find?
Yeah.
Get it over with.
And as we go, I'll just lean over to Varric and say, "Did you mean that about you don't want loot?"
It's not that I don't want loot. I'm not doing this for the loot specifically. I'll take what's given to me and I want what I can find. But I'm not doing it for the loot. I'm doing it for my people.
So you do want loot?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
So I'm assuming you get back on the cart. Start heading off. So anything, actually, before you leave the villages, or anything you'd like to do?
How many bodies are there?
Only 3,
How many? 23.
including women and children.
Are you about to ask Lucy to burn the bodies of women and children? just...
I was actually thinking about burying them, but 23 is a lot to bury, so...
I mean, like, funeral pyres are pretty acceptable.
Yeah.
It's
If you guys want to... Yeah, we can pile them all into one spot.
One hut, and then just set the hut on fire, I guess. Yeah. If
As long
everyone
as
doesn't mind...
if anyone asks, I didn't go out of my way to burn the bodies of women and children. We did this out of respect.
Better that than food.
Okay.
Can I check before we start? So can I check them for anything like identifiable, so like names or anything like that, or is it just?
Could you do an investigation check, please?
Mm-hmm.
And Lucy will have a similar question to the white one we found in the river.
Is there anything on them Varric, could you roll with advantage, please?
Yeah, I will with that.
That you would know about, that Varric would know about.
That's substantially worse.
Okay, maybe not then.
Eek.
So, Lucy, you would do an investigation check yourself.
Okay.
So, you find his useful his tools and things like that. So they've obviously been trying to set up some sort of fishing industry there to feed the families, and become self-sufficient. The only other thing you notice is each of the male bodies and some of the females have a cut, some sort of injury along the back of their neck in a straight line, or a line at least. As though something has been rived from their neck, like a necklace.
Would I know what's gone?
Depends whether or not it depends whether or not Lucy mentions it, or sees it as being worthy of mention.
Can't tell if Charlie's frozen or not.
I think he is just defensive pose.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was going to do an intelligence check or not, as to whether or not it's worth telling people. Seems to be a lot of the bodies.
I don't know if you guys can. Oh wait, no. I
thought I'd frozen.
I thought I'd frozen. Sorry. Lucy's seeing that what looks like a necklace has been ripped from a lot of their necks or something. She'll turn with a smile to Korsk and just go, "See, the bandits do have stuff."
Varric, on hearing this, you take a glance down towards your chest, feeling underneath your uniform something that all soldiers are given to identify them. A set of tags. So, you know they've nicked the tags.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Lucy still thinks it was just jewellery.
Cool.
Meanwhile, Amanita's still trying to keep cool.
Yeah, the fire doesn't help. I'm assuming you gathered up all the bodies by now, checked through the pockets and stuff, and lit them on fire. I mean, there's like all bashed breastplates and stuff, so or long swords and shields. So if anybody wants one of those, then that's fine. But there's not much more.
Yeah. So what was that list again?
So there's like an old bashed breastplate, old bashed breastplates.
Yep.
There are a number of long swords, and also a breastplates, long swords, shields, just like old and battered. Wouldn't have much resale value, but might have some.
So roughly how many of each?
Actually, on people, probably about 9 or 10.
Okay.
Say 9 swords, 10 breastplates, and maybe 7 shields, something like that.
Yeah.
Are there any signs about like wooden things I could write on, or something I could carve into a bit more permanently than just writing in the sand?
On hearing that, actually, Korsk would step forward and offer Varric one of the pieces of shield he found earlier.
Okay.
May I send a private message to Cameron?
Yeah.
Cameron, you're an invisible kraken, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, the pants are still feeling a little light. Wayne.
Oh dear. Still got that hole in your pants that you need to fill.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
I still need to get that suit of armor for Lucy, actually. That's one of the things I've got to do. See if I can pull some strings here and there.
I'm wondering.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was looking at that yesterday. Very rare, apparently.
Yep. Then see if it's got fire resistance on it. Oh my goodness.
Aren't you
No
fire
fire.
resistant already anyway?
Yeah,
It won't stack.
I know, but
Half a half. Half a half.
yeah.
Cool. Have you sent your message?
Just finish up. Also, I can't spell eerily, so sorry about that.
Jess, see this cloud you've got? Is it causing a gust? And are you still wearing your flannel cape?
Are you sure I can ride on this, Korsk?
Whoever's using it, it's going to be of no use to them now.
Alright.
Just as long as you know what to use with it.
Sorry, what was that, Charlie?
Oh, Lucy was wondering if you were still, if that cloud you made was making a gust of wind, and if you still had your flannel cape.
No, she gave that away to Yimran. The cape.
Oh yeah.
And I'd say the gust, she would have had it directly in front of her, so that it was blowing in her face. So if there were,
Okay.
the gust of wind from the natural weather was to blow in, up in the air, it's like the dust wouldn't fly in her face.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll just for this out with Sam real quick.
Are you passing on the delights that I've sent you? Part of the delights, at least.
Yeah.
And once we've got all the bodies in a pile, Lucy will still just be with his hand ready, just waiting for someone to tell him to do it, rather than just doing it himself.
I would do it, I would do it, Lucy. They're busy writing some sort of sign. I think on the back of a shield.
Okay, as long as everyone knows this. Not doing it maliciously, just out loud and on fire.
Because you're in the middle of the desert, and it's also mid-afternoon. It's already bloody hot. You just made it even. After about 5 minutes, it becomes really uncomfortable where you are.
Oh, if we're standing there for 5 minutes, Lucy will definitely be holding his nose.
So, anything else about this sign? What have you written on it?
I was just going to write on it, here lies fallen comrades, something sympathetic to both what they've experienced and what I've experienced, and that they shall be unnamed I kind of put it up against the pit of, not up against the pit of burning body or the hut of burning bodies, but I kind of place it close so people can find the remains at least.
And is it just a part of a shield that you're using, or is it a full shield?
Of course, handed me a part of a shield, didn't he? So just a piece. So nothing long, but just here lies.
One of the shields, bits of wooden shield that you've. Okay. Cool. At which point, the heat becomes so excessive you decide it's a natural time to leave. You head off in the southeasterly direction, following the footprints.
Yeah, keep going for a minute.
During which point, the wind is beginning to pick up. Again, warm breeze. Just whips a little bit of sand up. Again, it bothers Amanita, but everybody else is relatively okay. Varric, as navigator, could you roll a survival check, please?
Can't tell you how close that was to being a natural 20. Like, it was so close, and then it just tilted to the side of it. And I was,
Okay. So Varric appears to know what he's doing when he's navigating. He heads into the middle of following the tracks, but also keeping an eye on the sun where it is in the sky, and also trying to pick landmarks, what little landmarks there are, in the middle of the desert, but particularly big dunes, for example.
Amanita will be like hanging on to Lucy's cloak, just be like, I can't.
You can't what, sorry?
She said, I can't see. Just like trying to wipe her eyes, and then sometimes like wiping her eyes with his cape as well.
Oh. You now feel as though your eyeballs have been scoured by sandpaper.
It's okay, I'll tell you what we see. There's sand. And more sand. What was that, sorry?
She said, oh, I can see sand. It's all in my eyes. That's all I can see.
You can see just about as much as us then.
So you continue on into the desert. The smoke rising from the hamlet behind you stays in view for a couple of hours. The footprints remain, although faint. Eventually you come to a spot in a little depression between some dunes. Off to the side there is a skeleton of some large beast. On the ground you see a number of short, curved blades, splintered shields. In front of you.
the blades look like they'd match up with wounds that we saw.
Yes.
Driven into the ground. Is this like you would do for a like to make a grave site?
No, they're just on the ground. There's been some sort of skirmish.
Oh, okay.
There's a collection of footprints all over as well. It looks as though the ground's been disturbed. And then eventually the trail continues on with slightly less in number.
Can I do a nature check to try and identify the bones?
Yes.
It hasn't been an hour since we set out, right?
It has been a couple hours.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll roll them.
Also, how many of these curved blades? Roughly?
2.
2? Okay. Lucy will take them.
It looks like some horned drake. Inside there is a humanoid skeleton, so it once fed on humans. Or, yeah. It looks as though it's been there quite some time. The bones are half buried, weather beaten. Above you at the top of a dune, you can see a number of cacti and rocks sticking out. At that point, you hear a scurrying all around you. Coming from around where the skeleton is. Could I have marching order, please? Just so I can get an idea of where you stood.
Barracks on the cart.
I'll be behind Lucy.
So I'm assuming the cart is off the map.
Lucy's picking up the two blades, so
Korsk is next to the skeleton, so he'll be very near Lucy, perhaps a bit out in front.
and Marcus, I guess, would be a bit keeping edgy somewhere.
Cool. I'm assuming Pyrite's off investigating the bones somewhere. Cleo will be investigating the skeleton, I think. Where was Varric, sorry?
If the cart's off the map, then Varric will kind of be in a distance between like the cart and the skeleton. He's not going to be.
Marcus will be looking edgy. And Amanita's next to Lucy, was it?
Yeah, still holding onto his cape, rubbing her eyes with his cape.
Like, Lucy did not start the fight.
Sorry, I'm just moving things so... Okay, so for a while you hear this scurrying. The ground begins to shake around you. More off towards the other side. They're like the same. Like, you've got the skeleton next to you. The other side of the skeleton not the other side that's from you, but the other side of you from the skeleton is where the most of the rumbling occurs. After a while, a small creature, lizard-like, but with numerous legs, fangs in its mouth, bursts out of the ground, followed by a few more, and then a few bigger ones. And then eventually the ground rumbles, and a huge version of this lizard-like creature. Well, it's kind of like a hybrid between a bird, a wingless bird, a lizard, and a spider bursts out of the ground. It's got like spikes at the end of its legs. This is what you see.
Near my windows.
I mean, as the smaller ones pop out first, I'm into it. Oh, cute! And then the big ones come out just like, oh, maybe not.
So, good information. Right, the biggest one is obviously at the back. The ones with the blue dots are larger. Are kind of the ones without blue dots are the tiny ones. The ones with the blue dots are like adults. So the blue dotted ones are big, like medium sized, and then the one at the back is obviously humongous. All the rest without the blue dots are tiny, small creatures. So, without further ado, can we all roll initiative, please?
Yeah, that's terrible.
For those that haven't been with us too long, what the dots generally mean is that I will group them up and have them all have the turn on the same thing. It just means we don't have to roll 20 million lots of initiative.
Yeah, I thought as much. Yeah. Every time I plan on doing something to DM, if I ever want to do like a mass battle, I think about doing things like this as well.
Yeah. It was something I learned quite quickly. I think it was Jim's advice, actually, in the end. Right, okay. So I need to actually find the right battle. So that's that dude. So I need that. And I need his character sheet. So roll initiative. Then adults. So the adults are blue, aren't they? You're actually going to show me the character sheet. There we go. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh, why am I doing? That's fine. I'll just roll it. I'll roll the adults individually, and then I'll, having done complete opposite to what I said I would do, and then I'll just roll the groups individually.
Also need to put Pyrite on the board after that.
On the board.
Yeah, he's active.
Cool. He's there. He's the other side of the skeleton.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
So
he's tapping.
yellow then. we're doing here. So yellow, purple, green. Yellow, purple, green, blue. There's no more colours. Cool.
I'm not on the turntable. Do you want me to roll again to get me on the turntable?
Yeah, please.
Here we go.
Oh, I've not done Cleo.
My one's a 5, not a 10.
Sorry, should I have done that?
I didn't change it anyway.
I may have rolled separately for Pyrite. I don't know if we're still doing the thing where he moves on Korsk's turn.
We normally put him straight after, don't we? So we'll just, when I reorder it, I'll just meet him.
Okay.
So is that everybody? Marcus, we've got Varric. Amanita's on there now. I think that's it, isn't it? So that's descending. And then we'll move Pyrite. So it's after Korsk. There we go. So, who's doing Marcus for the purposes of the battle? It was Cameron time, wasn't it?
It was me last time. I don't know if Charlie wants to.
Don't mind. If you want to do it, you can. I can try and stumble through it if you want.
I don't mind. It's up to you. It's entirely up to you. I'll let you.
You want to do it, Cameron, because you've done it previously.
Yeah, I do.
And then we'll.
He's got a lot of things. Just looking through his sheet.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2 seconds to pop it open then.
Yeah. I was going to say as well, I should really offer to juggle at some point as well.
And I would assume that everybody's had a rest and stuff like that. So Marcus is.
Okay.
I'll put his hit points back up to 68 on the map.
So like we had. Yeah, that's true. We had. How many has it been a day? At least a day since we travelled from the river scene to the village scene.
No, because we pulled. This is the same day we pulled Lucy out the.
That's the same day you pulled Lucy.
Same day. Okay.
Although that was probably morning. This is like early evening, about 7 o'clock at night, maybe.
Yeah.
So, first to go is this dude here. So he's going to go for the closest person to him, which is Korsk, so he's going to scurry forward. And then, what's going on there? He is he's going to make 2 stab attacks. So the first one is a 21 to hit.
Yeah, hits.
For 7 piercing damage. And the second one is a 19 to hit, 8 piercing damage.
Stop.
So that then leads us to the next one, which is right next to Marcus already. So he's gonna do 2 stab attacks.
Yep. Let me just double check Max's feats.
So the first one is a 7 and a miss. The second one is a 17, which I believe is also a miss.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to. It doesn't matter. They missed it, right? So it's fine. We'll carry on.
Are you looking at riposte and things like that?
Yeah, like parry and stuff like that. And
Can I ask something quickly?
Yeah.
I may have been misinterpreting armor class for a while. Does the attack have to meet armor class, or does it have to exceed it?
Meet and beat it.
To meet it, beats it.
Meet it, beats it. Gotcha.
Cool. So that then takes us to Marcus. Cameron.
Marcus will have found where the other at the bottom. Yeah, so Marcus will just take 2 slashes with his rapier at the one that's just attacked him.
Okay.
So the first one is 27 to hit.
That's definitely a hit, mate.
12 piercing damage as well.
12 piercing damage. Okay.
And then the second one is a 15 to hit.
15. 15's a miss.
15's a miss. Just trying to think. I think Marcus will. He can do that without triggering an attack of opportunity, can't he?
Yeah, that's fine.
If he moves to the left, so he'll move there as well. And that way he can.
Cool. Okay. Just realised I should have had advantage on those 2 attacks, but anyway. Cool. So that then takes us to this one over here, which is going to scurry up to... Yeah, it's probably going to come up next to Luce. No, it's going to attack from distance, actually. Leave it where it is. So it will do a spike attack against Lucy. So it gets to do 2 spike attacks. So the first one is a 15 to hit. No.
Nope.
And the second one is a miss. Can't use its pack tactics because nothing's near it. No one's near you. So that then takes us to the next one. So he's going to move over to here, and he's going to have a couple of stabs at Marcus. So 24.
24 hits, yep.
For 6 damage.
Six.
And 18.
18 meets.
Okay. For 9 damage.
No.
Which then takes us to Cleo. And I need to remember that Cleo's got all his blimmin' spells back because he's long rested. Just do that now. He is going to cast Spike Growth. And he's going to cast it in a circle that involves the ground in a 20-foot radius. 5, 10, 15. So that's 8 across, isn't it? So let me just draw a circle. It's 8 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is not where I'm going to put it, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. What's it? Sorry about this. Just. Randomly join circles. Right. So, and now. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it's still not drawing a circle. Circle, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. So, and I just need to move that. So he wants to make sure he's got the pig in and a load of littlands as well. So he will try and maximise that. So he'll do that. The area becomes difficult terrain for the duration. Which moves into or within the area. It takes 2d4 piercing damage. So I'm assuming they all take that straight away. So I'll just roll the 2d4 now. And then I think for every 5 feet, every square they move into, it's another 2d4. Gives us 4 damage to a lot of them. Cool. So next that leads us to, and that's Cleo's turn. He's not going to do anything else. So that leads us to Lucy.
Okay. Guess I'll just pile on to your damage, and in that same radius, do fireball. Why not? Add more heat. See what happens. Which I think is a dex save from all of them.
A dex save.
Yeah.
Okay, gives him a minute.
Yeah, because I think it's 10 of them.
Minus 4. Right, I will do that in a minute.
Dex. That's not too bad.
No, it's not minus 4 dex. I'm just still taking minus 4. I'm still giving them all minus 4 hit points. That's me done though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Dex save.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the big lad. So 13.
That's some fail.
Okay.
Needs to be 15. Pass.
Okay. And do we know what the damage is yet?
28 fire damage.
Minus 28.
And half on a success.
Okay. So 28 or 14. So, this is going to be fun. So then, well, okay. I know for a fact that
some of them have died.
some of them are dead anyway.
Cool. I'll take those points.
They've only got 5 hit points left.
I'll take those extra hit points then.
So that's I'm assuming is dead as well. He's just in the range. So that one's dead as well. Good old fireball, eh?
Yes.
Right, and then I need to do dex saves for the ones that are left. The 3 that are... oh, no, that one's dead. So 1, 2, 3. 3 of the others. So I need to do 3 adult dex saves. So let's do dex. 1, 2, 3. So we've got natural 20 for the first one. We've got unnatural 20 for the second one.
Okay.
Oh, stop. There's a thing with this where it kind of, you click on it and it starts to drag around what you've... I was getting it before. It starts to drag around what you've clicked on.
Yeah.
And it's doing that at the moment. I can't get it. Can't get it off my mouse.
I click on again. I don't know if that helps.
I have, mate. But for some reason, it's just... It's just likes to drag it around. I'm going to have to re-thing, aren't I?
So that's a chunk out of them we've got anyway.
That's a very high-powered spell, really, isn't
I
it?
do find it funny that all the small ones have survived.
What do you mean all the small ones have survived?
Not the blue ones.
The
Are they
blue-
not
They're the adults.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
There you go.
I was going to say,
Lucy killed more children. Okay.
I was going to be very scared if one of the small ones did that much damage.
So, what was it gonna do? Oh, the lemon character sheets have all disappeared now as well. So, right, dex save. So, character sheet, dex. So, did I actually roll one? Oh yeah, I
There's at
rolled
least
them all.
2
But-
that survived that you told us about at least.
So there was three in that bunch, the 3 blue ones, covered by that circle. So the first one, which is the one to the left, got a natural 20, so he only gets 14 damage. The one in the middle, like towards the bottom, got a 20, so he only gets 14 damage. And then the one above rolled a 10, so he gets 28 damage.
And then with that, Lucy will just hold his shield, just hide behind it and wait, and that's his turn.
Cool. So that then takes us to... He's dead. Korsk.
Are you sure you're not doing... I thought you said you were doing initiative as a group.
There's still one purple one left.
Go ahead. Sorry. Though, I've got to put that back in now, haven't I? Right. Do this to save time and then end up spending more time doing it. Alright, let's roll him back in. And he was before Korsk, wasn't he?
Yeah, he gets first.
So, he is going to run up to you and do a stab attack.
So he has to meet 18.
Pack tactics. 19. 4 piercing damage.
Okay, that's livable. And now the revenge, hopefully.
And now the revenge. Yeah.
I seriously hope this works. Course just staggers back with several new tears in his coat from their snappy limbs. Immediately reaches into his satchel and pulls out the pipes. And he's going to play them. And the familiar haunting tune in Draconic wafts over the battlefield. That is, unless they're immune to frightened, which is a possibility, they have to, I think it's everyone actually. It's everyone in 30 feet. So all of the creatures have to make a DC 15 Wisdom save, and if they fail, they become frightened. And I've also done some checking up on the ability, and if they fail, they get to try and save again on their turn.
Okay. So, how far away from you are they?
First one is 20 feet, or 25 feet actually.
So it's what? It's 30 feet radius, is it?
Yeah.
All creatures in range, and it's 30 feet. Right, okay, fine. So that's everybody then. Is that right? Even this one down here? Yeah, one,
yeah.
2, 3, yeah. Cool, so that is... so let's do the young ones first. So wisdom, do you say?
Wisdom, DC 15.
So there's 4 of those. So 1... In fact, I should be rolling the save. 2... 3... 4. Okay. And what's the DC? 15?
Yeah, 15.
Okay, so from top to bottom for the young ones then. The one closest to you rolled a 19, so saves. The next one rolled a natural 20, so saves. 2 natural 20s in a row that one rolled, I will add. But I'm not that I'm using the advantage, but this one rolls 10, so fails, so that one's frightened.
I mean, on the plus side, this burns all their good dice.
And then this one here rolled a 16, so saves. And then the adults, of which there are 4. So I need an adult and I need a... So wisdom save. 1, 2, 3, slow today. 4.
They all saved.
So going from left to right. So let me just... So this one rolled a 13. The one on the left rolled a 13. So it is now frightened. The one just north of you rolled a 15. So met it and beat it. So he's fine. The one above that rolled a natural 1. So he's frightened. And the one off to the right of Marcus rolled a 4. So he's frightened. Shows you these things even themselves out there. And then the big guy, let's see what he does. He's got a +2, so natural 20.
There we go. I mean, yeah. Just yeah. And to end off his turn, Korsk will ring the bell at his wrist to cast Healing Word on himself and regain 8 hit points.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so to be clear on that effect again, so they get to retry the Wisdom save at the end of each of their turns. So they're definitely frightened for the next round, but they may come out of it as time goes on.
Fine. I remember we talked Pardon me. We did say, is that right, last time, didn't we?
Yeah, sorry about that.
When we had
That's
run
me
away
not.
break.
That's me not checking the ability thoroughly enough. And for the Pyrite, I think what he's going to do is he's going to fly to is this section impassable to land?
Impassable to you can kind of, it's difficult terrain, I would say.
I think Pyrite will fly to here, and he'll do his standard move of evade to give himself a maximum dodge. Disadvantage on all attacks against him, but he's effectively occupying the space next to Korsk. Actually, sorry, cancel that order. Let me see if... No, sorry, I can't do that. Yeah, so he's just sitting next to Korsk's space, and he's taking the dodge action. Yeah, if I wanted to attack, I have to use a bonus action, which I've already done.
Cool. And is that your go?
Yeah, done.
And Pyrite's go as well, yeah?
Yeah.
So
sorry, another thing. Can I use my potion action to take an elixir?
Yeah.
Okay. So, resilience elixir, which is +1 AC for this battle.
Okay. Okay, so cool. So this one going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Move to there. And then in a 15-foot cone, which will be a triangle. Here. 1, 2, 3, so it'll be actually it'll be from here to here to here to everybody except for Marcus, so and Varric. It's going to spray acid at them. So, each creature in that area must make a DC 14 Dex save.
Is that half damage?
Half damage if you succeed. Yeah.
Pyrite has evasion, so that will be half damage on a fail and no damage on success.
Okay.
So, and he has a good dex save as well. Oh wow. Okay, so he takes half damage.
Okay.
Korsk will also who's next to him? He'll use the Flash of Genius on himself and Amanita, quickly throwing out neutralizing powder in front of the spray.
Sorry, did you say they had to be next to him?
Within 30 feet, I think, for
Wow.
Flash of Genius. Okay. So both he and Amanita have a +3 on their save.
Okay. So Amanita's already succeeded anyway.
Okay. Well, yeah, it would have happened anyway. So, of course,
Let's just
the unrolling is bad.
Course gets a what? A plus what on his 7?
6. Well, it's 6 with the Flash of Genius. So it's 8.
Sorry.
Okay.
14. My Dark One's luck just got it.
So you take half damage, Amanita takes half damage. Pyrite takes half damage. Not seen Varric yet.
He didn't get
Varric's
hit.
not in there, he's down at the bottom.
Varric's not in there, you're right. Good point.
Who has to do him?
So it's just me left to do 2 things. The first one is Cleo's deck save. +4. So he fails as well.
How much was the damage?
30 or 15 if
30.
he succeeded.
15.
Pyrite's body corrodes into a mass of metal, and the dual power him falls into the sand.
Sorry.
It's alright. It's going to happen at some point.
Ooh.
And Korsk is just...
children.
Korsk just tries to duck under the jet of acid, and it plasters all the way across the back of his coat and starts to eat through. You see a lot of the silver embroidery start to kind of wither out and roll onto the ground.
So,
Still up though.
that was nasty. Okay, so that's the end of its turn. Because I'm assuming that's its only action.
Just think if I hadn't done that healing word, I would be on 3 hit points, I think. Now.
I know what Cleo's doing next. So that's him. So that then leads to one of the young'uns. Can I just do this to Pyrite? Sorry. Just so I know. So this one's going to creep around to there and attack Varric.
Oh no.
Stabby. 18.
Hits. Definitely hits.
4 piercing damage.
4.
And
I
then
forgot to do something, sorry. As a reaction.
and then this one's going to move around here, and then the 2 others are going to attack. What do you get that? So stab, and so the top one, I think, has he got disadvantage because he's frightened? I just read this a minute ago.
I don't know if it's disadvantage against course specifically or if it's just general.
No, as long as they can see him, it's all.
Yes.
It's
ability
all,
checks and attack rolls, yeah.
yeah,
as long as
all
they can see
ability. Yeah, all ability checks and attack rolls, and they can't willingly approach him specifically.
And when you get a second win, your big guy needs a deck save.
Okay, just doing it. So, what did I do? So the first, so he misses. The top one misses, and then the bottom one, stab. 19.
It's
7 piercing damage.
Eek.
You're doing do free, aren't you? So no, dex save. 18.
So it's half damage. So you get 13 fire damage to the big guy.
Okay. Cool. So that then leads us to Amanita.
He's going to summon a creature.
Okay.
I've posted it in to you. It's a wolf.
Cool. That's fine. I will. I think I had a random character that I added last time. Let me just find a. Familiars. So let me. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll drag this in, and then I'll just give it the raw stats. So hit points is 11.
What I can do is on D&D Beyond, I can roll for it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's just so I can see how much health it's got.
Yeah.
11 and 13. Fine. Cool. Where are you summoning it? In fact, let me just alter the. I don't know if you've got permission to move it or not, but I'll just make sure.
I'd stick it like behind, like just there.
Okay. Details. That's not giving me the option. Right, I'll stick it there. Cool. And I'm assuming it goes straight after you, does it?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was unintentional.
Obviously, I believe with wolves we get pack tactics. So.
Okay. So it's got advantage.
Yes. Obviously, I don't know how it works with these because these are my featured spells, but would I still, as a bonus action, be able to heal?
I would say only if it's a cantrip. I would guess. So summon woodland creatures is still a spell, though, isn't it? So I think you just get it for free, and you get so many uses of it. So I think it's still a spell that's an action. So you could cast a cantrip.
Fair enough. Okay.
Bonus action. That's an A, but that can be cast as a bonus action.
Fine. I think so. I can't heal anyone at the moment. So instead, I will just produce flame. No, I can't do that. Don't worry. Ignore that. I won't do anything. Mole will just slightly move to here. That's it. That's the end of her turn.
Cool.
So I rolled athletics then.
Cool. So you now got your wolf to do.
Yep. The wolf is going in for a bite.
Cool. So you got advantage. So 20. And what's the strength save about? Is that is it trying to leap or something?
Yeah, I don't know why it does that.
I think it's a. Let me just have a quick look at what you just sent me. If the target is a creature, it must succeed in a DC 11 strength saving throw or be knocked prone. Okay. So the young thing has to do a strength save. I think it was.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. It's 8. Yeah, it's fine. So it met the strength save, so that's fine. So it rolled 11, and then it takes 8 damage.
Okay.
It is on its last legs. Cool. Varric.
I am going to. Let me just draw a line real quick. I didn't click through it. I am going to take a step back. So, board's here, so I'll trigger an attack of opportunity from the frightened one.
Okay. Let me just roll that now. 8, so misses.
Please. And just trying to line up my lightning bolt.
So you get 3 effectively.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it across there, and I'm going to cast it at fourth level. Because I can.
There's some sort of save involved here, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. So it's a full 30 or half on a save, and it's a dexterity save.
So 2 from the young'uns. And I don't know why that's the same anyway. Dex save. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. So the first young one rolled. I don't know why I bothered rolling, to be honest, but rolled a 22. Well, I'll tell you I'll tell you the rolls because it's intriguing. So that's the closest one to you. It currently has 1 hit point. It now has 0 or minus whatever it is. It's dead. The next one had 9 hit points. It rolled a 21. So minus 9 minus 15 gives it minus something hit points. So it is dead. The big lad rolled a 22. So, but it is still hanging on in there. It's starting to look worse for wear. Would you like to do anything else?
I think of what else I can do. Can't do anything with them. What was it? No, I'm not going to do anything else.
Cool. So then takes us to the big lads. Oh, bigger lads. So this one here is going to attack Korsk.
Sorry, I need to interrupt with one thing. Basically, after he makes a hit that deals damage, I'm going to roll a reaction.
Okay. So adult.
Yeah, he has to meet 19 now.
So, stab for the first one. 15, so misses. Stab for the second one. 19.
Okay.
With
How much damage?
4.
Okay. So, of course, deflects the first one and just manages to pull back as it stabs into the space he was standing. And he quickly whips out the radiant dagger and triggers a switch in the mechanism, and it gives a flash of light straight into the thing's eyes.
Okay.
And so that is, I think it's his spell save con, which is 15. And if it fails, it's blinded.
Okay. $17.
Plus.
So, Is it just the flash, no damage or anything like that?
No damage. No.
Cool. So just the 4 damage to you then. That then takes us to the next one that is frightened and by Marcus. It's going to try and attack Marcus with disadvantage. So it gets two attacks at him. So stabby. So the first one's an 8, so misses. The second one's a 9, so misses. So then takes us to Marcus himself. Cameron. Can't hear you, mate. Think you're on mute.
Sorry. Honestly, I forget my microphone. I was like, don't push it on thing, and then I push it on the microphone. Sorry. So Marcus is going to riposte with the second creature. This was just before its turn ends. He'll riposte the second creature. The creature's a second miss.
Okay. Can you do that when there's a miss?
Yeah, so I've been here. When a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction, expend 1 superiority die to...
I can't remember what it is, but there's one where there's a hit. Something.
Yeah, so that's parry. So riposte is when he misses, parry is when he hits you with it.
Cool.
So add the superiority die to the weapon's attack roll. So the superiority die is... What is it? It's a D8. So he's just going to attack it with the rapier. So it is a 22 to hit. So that's 10 plus 1d8. And I'll roll that in Barrack's character sheet because I can't do it there.
So that's certainly a hit. So 10 plus a d8, is it?
10 plus 4.
14. Okay, still hanging on in there. Oh! And then the only thing I've got left to do is do the... Is it wisdom save for the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Pipes of Haunting? So... 15.
Alright, he's alright then.
He's alright.
And he can't be affected by it again if I was to actually try.
Cool. So I need to take the... So I think we're on Marcus's go now.
Yeah, we are. So, which one was it that he's just attacked? Sorry?
This one.
This one over there.
Right.
So he's going to take his first swing against that.
Okay.
19 to hit.
That's a hit.
13 damage.
So he riposts, and then as the creature jumps backwards, he flings his rapier out, just getting it between the ears, and then sticks his foot out and drags the rapier back, ready for his next attack. It is dead.
Excellent. And then the one in front of Korsk, he's just going to straight into the side of it.
Okay.
Do I get an advantage for flanking? Or is that further back?
No, Korsk would have to be where this purple one is here.
Oh, no worries, that's fine.
So it's like opposite side, but I do it as a kind of opposite face of a square, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. It's something I've been forgetting to do as well, but it's fine. So, yeah, cool. He's just going to make an attack against the one in front of Korsk. 13 doesn't hit though, does it?
No, it doesn't.
He's the Does Marcus have his daggers back, or are they all gone at the minute?
No, he would have picked them up last time he used them.
He's going to spend a superior die to throw a dagger at the same target.
Okay. Bonus action quick throw.
Bonus action quick throw. 20 to hit for 8 damage.
That's a hit?
It's only when Jim's in control it misses.
Generally, yeah. He has had some good kills though with them.
Mhm.
It's not always like that, but it just most of the time it is.
In general, like, Marcus has been our tankiest member.
Yeah.
Just somehow.
Yeah, there's just certain rules that just never seem to work. But but he's very good at using his reactions. There's a few people where I've attacked. There's a few times when I've attacked, he's then used riposte or parry or something, and then I think riposte and managed to wipe out the attacker in one go.
With the bandit chief in the last in the episode that came out of the caverns.
Yeah, that sort of thing. That sort of thing. Cool. So
that'll be the end of Marcus's turn as well.
Cool. Which then leads us to
So frightened bogey number 1 and frightened bogey number 2.
Yeah, they are both frightened, aren't they? That's probably got what's its movement? 40. So this is probably going to move around here, down next to this wolf, and attack the wolf. Twice. So 13, which I believe is its AC, for 5 damage, and then again. Misses. Actually, no, it's done this. I was going, oh, it's flanked. It's got advantage. No. It rolled a natural 1 for its second roll on that one. Cool. So then that's that one. So the next one is the one above Marcus. It's just going to try and stab Marcus twice. Stab. So the first one's a 14, which I believe missed.
Yep.
The second one is a natural 20 for 13 damage.
Ooh. And that wrong thing. 13.
Okay. Cool. So that's the end of its go. So it then goes to Cleo. I've not been doing the spike growth, but then again, I don't think there's.
The only one thing that's moved is the big guy.
No, this one moved as well. Where did that one? Oh, that one moved from there. So it's had 2 lots of 2d4. So that's 4d4.
What's the big guy?
The big guy moved a bit, didn't he? Yeah. So that's 10 from this one. And the big guy then moved from. It was up here earlier.
Yeah, he moved quite far.
No, he was centered there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 10d4. Well, glad that didn't kill him. That would have been a bit of an awkward retcon. Cool. Cleo then. Cleo is going to cast where's it at? That one. Mask your wounds. So everyone within 60 feet gets 26 hit points back.
Woofed.
Sorry, mental math.
This is when you get annoyed that you're only down 4. So,
This is when you get relieved when you're down a lot more than that.
So that includes you as well, but that's everybody basically. So 26 hit points. So you can see Jess has added hers. You added yours, Sam.
Yeah, I'm back on Fancy Free.
Okay.
Bring on the acid splash.
Tell him hello at the vault. Okay, cool. And that's going to be his go.
okay.
Which then takes us to Lucy.
Seeing that big one was coming for him and did the damage, he'll go for the Eldritch Blasts. So the first one. Oh, natural 1. Oh, no. Okay. And then second one. Unless the first one magically hits somehow.
That would be a no.
Oh,
So it's like he had 5 AC.
I don't know. Well, maybe. 26.
That's it.
Okay.
So AC's 20 though. Oh lad.
Oh,
11.
11 force damage.
Considering
AC of 20.
Considering this keeps happening with Lucy, I'm imagining it's like he takes a little while to lock on with his spells.
I've seen it more like.
It's the first one. He does his first one, and this big thing of sand just gets thinged into the air.
Yeah.
Making one or two of the others cough a little bit as it just gets in their lungs and stuff. And then the second one goes flying through the air and just breaks one of its legs. It is still hanging on in there, though.
Okay. Well, that's my turn. I do kind of imagine Lucy just getting ready. Big build up. Nothing. 1 second. Ah!
So again, this one is going to attack. So the next one's the last purple one, which is going to attack Korsk. It gets a single attack. Stabby. Hopefully I only clicked that once. Yes, I did. 16.
No. Finally.
Is that thanks to your +1 AC or whatever you've got?
Unfortunately not. Korska's natural 18 armor class.
Right, okay.
I like to think it helps the balance of probability.
Okay. That's its go. Can't do anything else. Ooh. Actually, I tell a lot.
Is it going to pack tactics me?
It's got pack tactics, hasn't it? 21.
Alright, how much damage?
4.
Okay, I can't take an acid splash.
It is, however, your go.
To get out or to do damage? Oh, in answer to your question, Charlie, they do expire, but the timing is different for each one. This one's 10 minutes long.
No, I mean, once you've made them, because I after 2 weeks I forgot, you gave me a potion of resilience.
Oh yeah, those are way off now. It's every time after a long rest. When I roll up new ones, they go off.
Okay.
I like to think that Lucy's mid-chug of
thinking
taking
about it.
one before he's just like, oh, that's bad.
All the ingredients have separated.
I think at this point, with all the stuff he's drank, he might be able to manage it.
So I think Korsk is going to screw up his courage, pull out his dagger, and then quickly jab at the one next to Marcus. So he has his own pack tactics. So that attack will be with advantage, and it's a Radiant Green Flame attack.
Okay.
25.
25. Which one are you? The one next to Marcus?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, that's a hit.
18 on him.
Okay, it's dead.
Okay. And then the green flame will then immediately arc to the purple tagged one that keeps attacking Korsk.
Okay.
For 13 damage.
Deaded.
Damn straight after all those attacks.
Cool.
Oh dear, and this is where the big one runs in and kills me.
Oh, Parrot's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can remain.
It's going to move down here a little bit. And
Oh god, not again.
that gets Marcus as well.
Ooh.
It's on a recharge. I rolled a 6. I did it a couple of minutes ago. Just to see if I got it back. So, could we all roll a dexterity save, please?
So with the last of his powder, Korsk is going to throw it again into the path of the spray.
So that's everybody. Sorry, that's everybody except Amanita and Barak.
Oh, thank God for that.
I like to think that Barak's just looking at his acid
shit.
spray. He's just like, what?
18.
Water would help. What are you doing?
Oh, Lucy's passed. Korska's passed.
Need to.
I need to do Cleo.
What save is it again? Sorry.
Dex, please.
30 save.
Dex.
Marcus passes.
Marcus passes. I accidentally rolled dexterity for Cleo and then I rolled a save, didn't I? I shouldn't have rolled the save. I'm going to go with the dexterity one because I rolled that first. The bonus is the same. That means he fails. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, okay. So 3 passes, 1 fail. And it is 4d10. (26). So 13 on success.
That's 29 minus 13. 16. Yeah, this time Force was more ready for it. The neutralizing powder worked, and then he's able to quickly take cover behind his shield.
Cool. So, that's his. Ooh. Let me just see if I can do something. Before I declare his turn over. No. Cool. That's his go. Which then leads us to the last green one. Barak or the wolf?
Can I ask, is the acid spray thing that it's doing a spell or just like a physical attack?
It's a physical attack. It's like a venom sac type thing. It's going to attack the wolf, I think. Stab. 19, 6 damage. Sorry, Jess.
It's okay.
The wolf is dead. Meanwhile, from the carts, you can hear Yin, Yang, Silver all kind of howling, sensing that the wolf has died.
Oh,
And one of their kin has died nearby.
Lucy will join in the howl.
Amanita is not happy.
Oh!
Well, maybe you can get some revenge. It's your turn.
I was going to do something. Okay, just read it against this. Right, okay, so I'll do my bonus action first. She is going to summon her spirit totem and she's going to call upon the unicorn spirit.
Okay.
Okay.
You and your allies gain advantage on all ability checks. All ability checks made to detect creatures in the spirit's aura. In addition, you must cast a spell using a spell slot that restores hit points. If you cast a spell that restores hit points for any creature outside or inside the aura, each creature of your choice in the aura also regains the hit points equal to your druid level, which is 7, I guess. We're level 7 now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So 7. Right, cool. Cool. So
She will then use one of her cantrips, getting angry that it's killed a wolf, and use frostbite.
okay. So there's a con save on there. Is it you take the damage if you fail the con save?
I don't know why it's done that. One sec. Let me have a look at frostbite. Yeah, the creature must make a con save. There you go, I'll post it in the chat.
You on a failed save you take increase by 1 when you reach 5th level. Okay, fine. So con save, and it's back at the one that killed the wolf. So this green one.
Yeah.
Okay, so is a young lad. So con save. He's got a +1. So you send your frostbite towards him. It immediately freezes solid. Then the heat of the sun comes down, and the sudden freezing and heating back up effect just causes its body to shatter. And spiky legs have just beneath it. And its body is just kind of shattered in two on the ground. And then turns into like a mound of gunk as it defrosts.
Amanita at that will say, serves you right for attacking my friends.
So then that leads us. So is that the end of your go?
Yep.
Cool. That takes us to Varric.
How is the big one looking
On his last legs.
on his last legs? Cool. No, it's fine. Actually, what I'll do is I will use my bonus action to channel my sorcery points into a 4th level spell slot. So I have to spend 4 of them to get that back.
Okay.
4 spells. Then I'm going to cast Blight on the big one.
Cool.
So that is 38 points of damage, and he has to make a Constitution save.
Is it? Does the con save affect the damage?
Let me double check. I'll take a half as much on a fail. So half as much on a successful Constitution save.
I'm guessing that's a new spell, because otherwise, where has that been hiding?
I've used it a couple of times now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Jeez, oh.
So you cast it on it, and it immediately seems to rot. You could see like black blood coursing through what you would expect is its veins, and then it just kind of turns black. You get this like putrid smell as it just collapses in a heap. It is dead. So I'm assuming we're going to finish this battle and then that's it, because it's already gone 6:30. So that then leads us to he's dead. He's dead. So it's Marcus.
Marcus is just going to take 2 swings at the blue guy,
Okay. The one that's left up there.
the one that's left.
That's a hit.
Hit.
That's enough of a hit to kill it.
How far can Marcus move?
I think he's 6 squares. It'll be 30 when it 1, 2, 3.
He can get within range, can't he, of the other one? That's right.
Yeah, technically I would say the dead body's difficult terrain though, but given he's only going over 1 square, he's fine.
Right, okay. Cool, I'll move him over there then, and then he's just going to finish off that other blue guy as well.
I mean, I think Pyrite's like that big, so his body's not going to be difficult terrain. Cool.
There's nothing left. There's just a diamond that was powering him in that space.
Cool.
Oh, really?
No.
Cool. And then you attacking again.
Yeah, I have, yeah. So it's 23 to hit, 15 damage. Marcus's rapier is really strong, by the way. Like, that's really good, consistent damage.
I'm imagining what he does is he climbs on what's left of the body of the big one, just leaps off it and flashes.
Yeah.
And that is that.
Didn't die!
Yay!
I couldn't believe when I rolled the D6. Like while you guys were talking, I just rolled the D6 to see if I got the acid breath back, and I was just like, "Oh, I got a D6. I got 6.
Oh man,
That's useful. I can use it again." So basically, we melted. I melted pyrite, and that was it.
Well, he did a fair bit of damage to cause along the way as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, without that cure wounds from Cleo, he would be down.
Gutted as well, because I rolled really low for my initiative, but everyone was lined up in a straight line. I was at the back of the map. I was just like, this is a perfect opportunity to clear off half the field with a lightning bolt, and then rolled 5 for my initiative.
To be fair, I think Barrack for a lot of that fight was just seeing us getting damaged and then shooting the fireball as if they were nothing. It was a bit like, yeah, okay.
Can I request a long rest at the start of next session? I may have spent a fair bit of stuff.
So the one thing I will say is, the longer you hang around, the less easy it will be to follow the tracks.
Oh, okay. You guys can rest in the wagon if you want. I'll ride.
We travel and roll, our intentions are